What's up, beautiful humans, and welcome to the road to Hana. Alright guys, we have actually started today on the road to Hana. We have passed Twin Falls and we might stop on the way back for that, but as you have seen, we're at this beautiful place and this is a roadside stop. It was like a quick pull over, maybe 1 or 2 cars could fit, but we saw this and we had to stop. So be careful when you do this. I am on the side of the road, but I couldn't pass this up. So on the road to Hana, there is a pull-off for Kihei Peninsula, and that is where Auntie Sandy's is, which is the famous place to stop for banana bread. And I can barely hold this because it's so hot and fresh. It smells so good, so I'm gonna dig into this, and man, I cannot wait. All right, let's take our first bite. It is so warm and like fresh. Yeah. So good. Also, they have like nachos here. They have Kahlua pork sandwiches. They have a bunch of stuff if you want, like, pass by here for lunch, or if you were closer to lunch. It's really early in the morning that we got here, so, but they do have food, and it sounded great. They have nachos. They have a lot of other options that would be good for lunch, but it's still breakfast time, so we just got banana bread. We got 2. This is mine. That's why I'm eating this. I'm not sharing it because I don't want to. And I'm going to fill myself up. This is my breakfast. Stopped at the Kihei Peninsula, which is the end of this road at the end of Auntie Sandy's. And there's a ballpark here, like a recreational area. They do have public restrooms, so if you need that, they have them available. And we had to stop and look at this view because it's insane. So come enjoy this and get some banana bread. Come park here. This would be great for an in-car picnic. Back your car up to this view. Man, that would be so cool for lunch. We have actually taken a 45-minute round trip detour to a place called Nahiku. It is a very narrow road. If you think the road to Hana is narrow, this is more narrow. And we have driven kind of down actually to this place. There is a little bit of parking, and you walk a little bit on a paved road. So this is wheelchair accessible, stroller accessible, things like that. And we're going to walk about 10 minutes down the road into apparently this grand view of the ocean on a rugged coastline. So we'll see what that looks like. Okay, so we have stopped at Kahanu Garden, which is about halfway past, maybe 20 minutes from Hana, like going towards Hana. And we stopped here, and it was down a very bumpy road, very narrow road, but it's so beautiful so far. And we got a guide. It was $12 per person, and they had kid prices, I think, as well. So we are going to see that. This is also the home of the oldest Hawaiian temple, so we're going to check that out. We've been restoring it since the 70s. And we're just gonna check out the wildlife and the garden and all that stuff. So let's do it. So here is the temple itself. It is huge, but you can't really tell from the ground. They have an aerial view on the placard, but it looks pretty massive. But they have been restoring it since the 70s, they said. So they're trying to work on getting it back to what it was in the 16th century, which is pretty cool. Here is a better view of it, and you can see the mountains in the background, and wow, that is something else. We made it to Hana, which is the road to Hana. It's about ending up here. So we made it, and it is beautiful, but we're really hungry, so we're trying to find a place to eat. There's some food trucks, there's some side stands, so we are going to try and check those out. And we're ending our day at the 7 Sacred Pools, which is farther than Hana Town. So we're going to do that and head on back.
Getting a nice breeze? You like the breeze in your hair?
So fun fact, once you get to Hana, this is the only gas station in Hana. It has 4 pumps, and you have a little gas station convenience store, but also across the street, next to this beautiful horse, you have Hasagawa General Store, which has water and things like that. So stop here. So we've made it to the end of the line, which is the 7 Sacred Pools, and they are not open for swimming today because it is high wind, so it's dangerous, but they are open for viewing, and it's actually part of Haleakala National Park. So if you pay the entrance fee of $30, it lasts for 3 days. And if you wanted to do sunrise, sunset, or entered the park just to explore that area, you already paid for it, so just keep your receipt for that. But we are walking down this beautiful shaded trail, banyan trees everywhere, and we're gonna check out the pools. Our final stop today is Waianapanapa State Beach Park. You do have to have a timed reservation for this, and they do not do same-day reservations. So if you're coming here on the road to Hana, or in general, make sure you get on that website and get that reservation. It is per car, per person in your car. So they have like a bundle situation. But look at this view. So I wanted to point out some things about the road to Hana. First thing is, if you are prone to car sickness or motion sickness, please take Dramamine. Maybe drive if you have the confidence to do that. There are over 600 turns in this road one way, so you have to drive them down as well. And it is totally worth it. This has been the most beautiful day that we have had here in Maui, and I think that this is a must-do if you're here. So we're going to drive the rest of the way down and maybe stop at some things that we missed on the way up because they were a little busy, and we'll see what that looks like. But if not, we have dinner reservations, and I am so excited to eat there, which again, that restaurant will be on the Maui food tour vlog that is coming up soon. But we're going to finish the road to Hana and see more of these beautiful views.
Of course, the rest is history. Happily ever after.
All right, guys, we are back from Road to Hana, and last night was a whirlwind because we got back quickly and we had to kind of freshen up and go to our dinner reservation, which we actually walked to from our place here in Kihei. There is a market down the street that has a lot of food trucks, it has a lot of restaurants and things like that. So we actually ate at Three's Bar and Grill, which is a Guy Fieri diners, drive-ins, and dives area restaurant that he has frequented. And we went there and we had beer can chicken. It was absolutely delicious. That full food tour will be coming up soon for Maui, so stay tuned for that. But Road to Hana was great. I wanted to talk about it really quick because I think there are a lot of things to be said. Number one, make sure you start out really early. If you're staying in the Kihei area, I would say get out of your place at 7 and start your way up. If you're staying in Lahaina, the northern part, I would say start even earlier than that. And then maybe not super early, maybe 6:30, 6 o'clock. And if you're staying in the Wailea area, 7 o'clock is fine as well. It's pretty much basically Kihei. So I would say that, but obviously if you're staying on the western side, you have an advantage to start out. But number one, if you are prone to motion sickness, please take Dramamine, take a patch. I have one and I'm not even prone to motion sickness, but today I started feeling weird, so I have a patch just in case, and I didn't get nauseous at all, neither did Mom, and neither of us are prone to motion sickness. There are over 600 turns in this road, so make sure that you are prepared for that, and be prepared as a confident driver because there are one-lane bridges, there are curves that you cannot see around in any way, shape, or form, and it is an exhausting drive, and just be prepared for that. Is it worth it? 100%. We made some choices about what stops we made because of crowds, just because we didn't want to be in a crowded area with a lot of people without masks. And also parking is sometimes difficult depending on what you're stopping at. So we stopped at what was accessible and what was spaced out and what was available. And I think everything that we stopped at was beautiful and worth it. And 100% do again, recommend. And it was just fantastic. But also make sure you bring snacks because there is basically no food until you get to Hana. And you have Auntie Sandy's, which is in Kian, I don't know how to pronounce. I'm so bad at this, guys. But you have Auntie Sandy's kind of towards the front of the Road to Hana, and then you have basically fruit stands side of the road until you get about halfway, which is another point, and then that's just another stand or has a banana bread, things like that. And then the rest of the way is a hit or miss because if people are wanting to surf, if the surf's really good that day, they're probably not going to open their store. They're going to go to the beach. So everything doesn't really have hours. It's just there or not. So make sure you are prepared with water, snacks. There are restrooms along the way. I downloaded the Shaka guide for Maui. It is, I'll put the logo right here so you can see it, so you can look it up on the App Store. They also have one for Oahu, and I'm pretty sure they have one for the Big Island and for Kauai as well, but I'm not 100%. We did download the one for Oahu, so we are going to be using that in the coming days when we go to Waikiki and downtown Honolulu, and maybe some other things. He talks while you drive. You download the app, obviously, but then you download the map that you are using, so if you do lose service, which you will on Hana, on the Road to Hana, that he's just using GPS and you won't get lost, and you still know what stops are coming without looking them up. You know what curves are there, and he tells these beautiful stories about Hawaiian history and culture, and there's music, and it was just a great deal. There's a bundle when you purchase Hawaiian on Maui, and I think it was $28 for all of the tours that he provides, which is like sunrise at Haleakala, sunset at Haleakala, 3 different Road to Hana tours, and then some other ones here and there. But I think it's a great deal. It was definitely worth it for Hana, especially since you do lose service and you have that kind of, you're in the middle of nowhere. But we started out early, and the reason that I say that is because you don't want to be driving down that way in the dark. It is very windy, again, 600 turns, and it is stressful, and sometimes there aren't guardrails, so I would be terrified to drive it in the dark. Some people actually stop in Hana and they like camp, or they rent a place there. I don't know how that works, but they they have that time there and then they kind of make their way back if it's too strenuous. But I would highly recommend doing the road to Hana if you were here in Maui. It was so beautiful. I loved it so much, and it was the most beautiful day that we had, I think, because I saw more of natural Hawaii and more of just natural, not like super populated towns like we were staying in here in Kihei. So I really enjoyed that. But there's so much coming up, guys, so much stuff. Tomorrow we are going snorkeling at sunrise at Molokini Crater, which I'm super excited for because number one, I've never been snorkeling before. Number two, it's been a hot minute since I've even been on a boat, which I'm super excited about because I grew up on boats. I love boats. And I am excited for that because Molokini is apparently one of the best places to snorkel in the world. So we'll see if that's true. And man, dinner tonight was fantastic. Again, that food tour will be coming up soon, so stay tuned for that. But we are trying to slowly pack so we don't have to do it kind of all in a pinch because we have to be strategic about packing. And it's just been such a great time, guys. Thank you for joining me. If you're new here, thank you for having me. I appreciate you watching my videos. And if you are returning, hi. We're friends. And I hope that you enjoy this. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Share this with your friends. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. And next to the subscribe button is a bell. So if you click that, you won't ever miss anything that I upload. It'll just tell you. So that's pretty cool. And until then, guys, be beautiful humans. Bye.